2019 annual annual financial report. Ms. Taylor, do I have a quorum?
Let me see.
Will you please do a roll call for me?
Yes. Councilor Alexander. Councilor Collier. Councilor Crusoe. Councilor Marshall.
Present.
Councilor Thickpan.
Present.
Councilor Matthews. Councilor Donald.
Present. It
Okay,
doesn't seem like,
no, we don't have
Go
a
ahead.
quorum.
it doesn't seem like we have a quorum this morning. I did remind Mayor Gully on Monday about the meeting today. I would say we would just attempt to do this again next Tuesday.
Madam
So that
Chair,
we
Madam
can-
Chair,
Yes,
Madam
sir.
Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think this is important enough that we can allow a couple of minutes.
Well, we can allow a couple of minutes. By the time I got through speaking, I guess
Okay.
it would have been a couple of minutes. I did remind the mayor on Monday about this meeting. Do we have Ms. Pryor on the line? Do we have a representative from Principal and Associates on the line?
Madam President, this is Stan. I talked with the mayor this morning, and he was planning on being on the call, and he was going to have the auditor in his office this morning. So I know that he's planning on that.
Okay, we can wait 5 minutes. We can wait 5 minutes on Mayor Gully, and hopefully we will have a quorum by that time. Good morning, Mr. Payton. How are you?
I am well. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day, a beautiful day. I'm glad to be here on this day.
Hey, I just wanted to say I missed the Carvana ribbon cutting. It looked like it was a great day.
It was beautiful, Councilor Thigpen. I'm so glad I was able to make it. I had someone here with my mother, so I'm so glad that I was able to make the ribbon cutting for Carvana. But they got a lot of moving pieces down there that all comes together and make it a wonderful business for the city of Bessemer. And I
Yes.
saw them close the camera up and just go around the car and take all the pictures of the car within 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And the car is ready to be put on the line to be sold.
Nice.
So it was very nice.
Well, I said hopefully I can get a private tour later. I didn't tell anybody, but I had knee surgery 2 weeks ago today. Just a scope to repair both the lateral and the medial meniscus and clean out some arthritis and stuff. So I just came off the walker Monday. So I knew that I knew there was no way I could walk that place. Getting from the outside to the inside would have been difficult. So that's why I couldn't be there. I really hate it, but
well, I'm sure that they don't have a problem giving you a private tour of Carvana. They're steady building and knocking rocks and trees, and they're building parking lots on the back and on the side, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing
Yeah.
for the city of Bessemer. Miss Jenny Calvert, I don't think she'll have a problem with giving you a tour of Carvana.
I'm looking forward to it.
Everything was really nice and in place, and everything, all moving parts like a puzzle. Everything just fell into place. And when you got to the end, we saw the cars being photographed and being put out on the line. And I think she told me within 5 minutes, one of the cars had already been sold.
Oh, wow.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
hello,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Hello.
We can hear you, Ron.
Can't hear anybody.
We can hear you.
Madam President, this is Shan. I called the mayor and he was searching for the link. And so I just emailed it to him. So he's trying to get up.
He may have to just call in. He may have to just call in to
Hello,
just like I did. Hello.
hello,
Hello.
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 Well, Councilor
Hello.
Donna, Counselor
Yeah.
Donna, you still don't have a quorum.
Hello.
I'll give the mayor. It's already 7 after. Let's give him 2 more minutes.
Okay, I think Councilor Collier is on the line, so I think you have a quorum now.
Wonderful.
So I can call
I'm
roll.
here.
Where am I?
Okay.
Where am I, Carl?
Hello?
Madam President, Madam President, good morning to you and good morning to the council. I am on the line.
Good morning, Mayor Gully. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. I reserve my 2 minutes for later.
Okay, do we have a representative from the principal and associate?
Madam Council President, may I call roll again, just so we can be official?
Yes, ma'am, please do.
Councilor Alexander. Councilor Collier. Councilor Collier.
Present, my mic was muted. Present.
Okay. Councilor Crusoe. Councilor Marshall. Councilor Marshall. Oh, I think. No,
I can vaguely hear. I'm trying to get off and come back in.
Oh.
City Clerk, radio check.
I heard him. Councilor Thigpen.
Present.
Councilor Matthews. Councilor Donald.
Present.
Okay, we do have 4 present. I heard Councilor Marshall. We have 4 present and 3 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you.
City
Mayor's
Clerk,
on the line.
City Clerk,
Yes.
please note my presence, Greg Harris.
Oh, Greg Harris is on the line. Okay. I just saw where Councilor Marshall left the meeting. So we
He said he
can't.
was going to leave. We can't continue until he comes back, but he did say before he left the meeting that he was going to leave and then come back in.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we show that as soon as we have a quorum, Miss Taylor, just let me know,
Oh.
please.
Okay, he just, Councilor Marshall? Councilor Marshall?
I'm here now. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
great. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, okay, we have a quorum now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And good morning and welcome to the City of Bessemer special call meeting in reference to the audit for the City of Bessemer, Alabama for the fiscal year ended September the 30th, 2019, annual financial report for the City of Bessemer. The City of Bessemer, Alabama list of principal officials as of September the 30th, 2019, Mayor Kenneth E. Gully, City Council, Cynthia S. Donald, President, Latricia Crusoe, Pro Temp, Donna Thigpen, Kimberly Alexander, Jesse Matthews, Ron Marshall, and Jarvis Collier. This information is intended solely for the information and use of the mayor and management of the City of Bessemer and is not intended to be and should not be used by anyone other than these specified parties. Mayor Gully, do we have a representative from the principal and associates on the line?
Madam President, I do have the owner, principal, and associates, Mr. Eugene Pitts on the line, as well as our finance director, Ms. Keela Pryor, that should be able to answer any questions that you all may have. At this particular time, I'm going to turn my attention stuff away and put and introduce Mr. Eugene Pitts, and he'll go through and stuff his presentation for you all at this time. Mr. Pitts.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, Mr. Pitts. How are you?
Good morning. It's always good to meet with the council again and speak with the council. And can't say I'm happy enough to know that it's completed. I know you wanted to challenge me to be through about December 31st. That was a pretty big challenge, but we came pretty close around January 12th. So we got that done out of the way. And we did just get exquisite and very good assistance from Ms. Keela Pryor and her staff. Definitely wouldn't have been able to complete it that fast and been able to have a report without their expertise and their assistance and their efforts to do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't know how much, do I have a limit on the time? No time limit? To the wrong person did tell that because I do like to talk. Okay.
Oh, well, look, wait, let me give you a time limit. You got 1 hour.
Oh, I won't need that much. Oh, goodness. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very kindly.
Okay.
I got it organized so we can hit the high points, and then any questions, will come after that. But I think I can roll through what I have to roll through in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everyone has an audit report. So I would like to first turn to page 1 in that report. And on page 1 of that report is the auditor's report on the financial statements. And there are a lot of numbers and a lot of pages in this report, but the auditor's opinion is the only thing that the auditor owns in the report. The financial statements are the responsibility and ownership of management. And what I've done is I've opined on management's financial statements. And so with that understanding that you own the reports and that you have a responsibility for them, my opinion is on page 2. And it would be, if you come from the bottom, the third dark bold print that says qualified opinion, that's the auditor's opinion about the financial statements. And normally you would have what's called an unqualified opinion, meaning that everything is just as good as anyone else in terms of the financial statements being put together. But because Bessemer Airport goes into your financial reporting and they do not have an audit, you had to get a qualified opinion for that reason. Other than that, everything is great in terms of the opinion on the city of Bessemer. And this is where it has been for year in and year out. What they have at the airport is called a review, and that is substandardly less than an audit. So other than that, the opinion is great. Let's now turn to page 17. And on page 17, in the total column that says total government funds, you start at the top where it says assets. The city has a total of 17 million in terms of cash, 17,862,257, $17,862,571 in cash. Actually, so that's a lot of cash to have on hand. 17 million is a lot. Of that, restricted is $813,631, leaving cash available for operations of $17,048,940. That is very, very healthy. Your average monthly operating expenditures is about $4,763,218, meaning an excess cash available of $12,085,722. So that gives you roughly 2.5 months to 3 months of operating cash if no revenue came in at all, which is very healthy and very good that the city can operate with excess cash flow available sitting in the bank like that from time to time. On page 17 as well, your accounts payables came out to be $5,519,803. Some of that includes a little bit that is due to other funds. So that's kind of a large number for having payables, but the city can pay the bills as they come in, and the bills are what the bills are. Okay. On page 19, if you turn to that page, we're going to focus on the general fund on this page. On this page, the city took in revenue, total revenue of $57,832,885, and spent out $57,158,614, leaving an excess revenue over expenditures of $674,271. And that's awesome. That's good, because the city is not designed to make a profit, but to provide goods and services. And to meet its obligations mean that the city has been doing that and has a little extra cash to go over. Now, if you go to page 44, on page 44, what you have there of all the assets of the cities. And those assets consist of land, $1,325,177. Property held for resale, $256,552. Construction in progress, $1,963,488. Buildings and facilities, $35,690,236. Offices and other equipment, $21,425,665. And then infrastructure dealing with roads, streets, lights and traffic lights, stop signs, sidewalks, and all that came out to be $39,751,855, with a total assets that the city owns in terms of just properties and buildings, $100,413,073. Less accumulated depreciation gives that a net value of $67,622,870. You turn to page 56. Page 56 is is going to be an interesting part, because page 56 is what's going to be used to do the refinancing of some of these bonds. And this list on this page, all of the city's bonds, and then you have a capital lease outstanding as well, but that's not directed material in terms of the total debt. So your total bonds came out to be $60,465,000, and that's a pretty big lot of bonds, and that carries a lot of interest expense with it. So once you refinance, you should see a substantial savings in your cash outflow, because rates have been low and they're low for a while, and the Treasury Department has stated that they're going to keep them low for a while. That sort of includes the numbers in a quick summary form. And so before I move on, are there any questions about any of the statements and the reports that you've had, that you're looking at this point? Anybody? Okay, I'll move on now to page 101. Page 101 is where we went through the system, and we see some areas that you can make improvements in. Most of them are house cleaning issues, and that they can be fixed. I have spoken with the finance director in very spirited conversations about it. She can get the situation under control. She can handle it. A lot of it she inherited, but she was short-staffed, during this COVID period and so we can all just be thankful that we got it done, and appreciate her efforts. And then we're going to address the concerns that I'm going to bring to your attention, which are all fixable. There's nothing in there that that's not fixable, and she has also made it clear to me that she is an able-bodied woman and can get it fixed. So that's a good time. We won't be as pressed in this audit that we're doing now for 2020, because this is 2019. So the longer it takes to do an audit, get your financial statements out, the less relevant that they become, and you want to be working with as much current information as you can all the time. Particularly Bessemer. Bessemer is not slowly, but it's the talk of Alabama, because Bessemer is just a very fruitful city with a lot of things happening and a lot of buildings going up all the time. So, and that's a very positive thing. So let's just get started on that on page 101, and you'll find the first finding, which talks about transfers of monies from the utility department to the city. It doesn't matter what you call it. You call it payment in lieu of taxes. You can call it give me some money, we want some. Whatever you call it, it's not revenue to the city of Bessemer, because it has already been recognized at the point that it came in from the customers as revenue at the utility company. We came in a situation where we saw that transfers in were being recognized as revenue. The finance director is aware of that, is on top of that. In this coming audit, we shouldn't have that finding in there, because transfers would not be recognized as revenues. And that had the effect of impacting the revenues a little bit higher than what they needed to be. And now that it's not going to affect, that's not shown in your financial report, because what's shown in your report is the transfers are recognized in the caption called transfers and not part of revenue. So that your presentation is good, and the fix is already in as far as I know, and I will be auditing that area again, so I know even more for sure. Finding number 2, this is little house cleaning issue. It's not as bad as it may sound after looking at it in more detail and discussing it with the finance director, but it's sort of like toward the end of what we were doing. But in essence, we have a revenue report, which is a report that tells all the revenue coming into the city. This particular report was not in sync with the revenue that the city was showing on its trial balance. The two are supposed to be in sync. And what was revealed was that the mapping in the report for the revenue report did not cover all of the accounts to account for the revenue the same way that the revenue is being accounted for on the trial balance. And so that fix is already in. That's just a little house cleaning issue. The finance director, again, is already on that, probably already fixed that. So that's not anything to be alarmed about. Page 103, where we have the centralized recording for compensated absences. This is a situation where it's all done manually to keep up with everybody's sick time and vacation time. And that is very antiquated, very laborious, and just tedious. No one should even have to be put through that in today's world. So what we're recommending here is one that becomes centralized. Right now, the department heads are filling out employees' leave and sick time, and whoa, that's a little bit out of place there for the heads to be in charge of that. We would like to see that whoever's in charge of personnel or human resources keep up with this time, and that a system be put in place that will automatically keep up with the time. That software that's doing this, that's available. The finance director is aware of it. This is a process that has to take place because it's going to involve all the departments of the city, as well as the finance director's office of human resources. But that is something that needs to be done. So at the push of a button, you will always know how much vacation time, sick time, when an employee get ready to leave, what their checks are supposed to be, how much that is allowed. The state only allows so many hours that they can get reimbursed for that. But that would make that process very simple, very clean, and highly reliable. This year it had to be estimated. And we want to get away from estimating any type of payroll activity, because it's really subject to you doing accounting the same way for that as you would do for your payroll. So that's just a tedious area. Payroll is, the human resource area is. It can go on and on, but that's what it has to do, because you're dealing with individuals, and you're dealing with their retirement, you're dealing with their benefits, and dealing with their payroll and their withholdings, and you're doing that one by one. So that's a process that I can't give you a timeline. The finance director has to get that sort of going, but that's a process that she's aware of and wants to get that fixed. On page 104, you will see there's a finding with the electronic municipal access system. This is for everybody that goes out and get bonds. When you go out and get bonds, you're now in the bond market. And once you're in the bond market, individuals that buy bonds in various agencies are now have a legal right to be able to look at your financial report. And the way that they do that is through the electronic municipal market access system. It's called EMMA. The reports have to be there within 180 days after your year end. Obviously, this report won't be there because we're in 2021. But we would like to see the city get on track to come in compliance with this standard, because it's a national standard. It's been around for a long time. Every time that you do a bond issue, you agree to follow that standard. So we're going to work towards that. It's going to be a process to work towards it in order to sort of be completed with the audit somewhere around March, which would give you would then meet the 180-day requirement to do that. But you're not there yet, because you just have to get organized, have to get structured, have to get the right people in place, and then the process has to be in place to do that. I strongly believe that the 2021 audit you should be able to do that, because we're going through these processes there, and everybody's working on it now, is more aware of what they're doing and what's needed. So I'm looking for next year in 2022 to be in compliance with this standard and audit to be completed on time. That's what I'm shooting for and hoping for. And finally, on the last page, next to last page, page 105, deals with your capital assets. And that's a issue that's always a challenge because it involves more than just the capital asset reporting system. And in essence, the numbers that's on the detail, all of them, the assets that are owned, the depreciation that's accumulated, the additions and deletions, all of those are supposed to be in sync with what the city is reporting as its fixed assets in its financial statements. And the financial section that we just went through on page 44 is the section that I'm talking about that should agree to a detailed report. Right now, there's a outside source that's preparing the city's depreciation reports and keeping up with all the assets. But Bessemer really needs to bring that information in so that your fixed assets are really kept in-house on your own computerized system in terms of the software. That was my understanding of it. If it's different, that you do have your own fixed asset accounting software that's in place. It all still needs to be in sync with what's being reported in terms of in your general fund where it says purchases of capital assets, and on your notes where it says additions and deletions and accumulated depreciation. All those numbers have to go together, and that will be another working process to make sure that once financial statements are put together, that all these numbers come together the way that they should in the various reports. So this is more of a house cleaning issue. It's not anything that's alarming. It's a timing issue in terms of when, for me, this time was when I got numbers and numbers changed and all the reports didn't change the same way. So you had a little conflict there, but it's not anything alarming, but it's something that also will be handled much better coming up in this audit that we're going to be doing coming up now, because we'll be able to all work in sync and look at what we're doing together so that we will all be on the same page at the same time. That concludes my presentation. Are there any more questions about anything that we discussed?
Councilors, you've heard the presentation. Are there any questions and or concerns? Councilor Marshall.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pitts, for detailed report. Now, let me just be clear. This is the audit year ending 2019, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what about the audit that ended in 2020?
That's the next audit. That's the audit that's in process now. And that's the audit that's coming up now. Finance director has made me aware that she'd like to be through with that by June 30th, sometime in June. We think that we can be through then because everything is in place. We both know what we're doing. The finance director did mention to me at one time that me and her work well together. I think that was nice because we do, but we're two different people. But that's a good thing as well. And we both want the same thing for the city, to get it done early, get it on time, and get it done right. And so we've crossed our little bridge, and now we'll go into this next one better and smarter than we were before.
Okay. Now you mentioned Emma, and we're looking at possibility of refunding some bonds. Now you said the report should be in the Emma database, I guess, 180 days after the audit is done. So how are we going to be impacted in terms of the refunding that we're looking at now, since we missed that deadline? I mean, how are we going to be looked at?
That shouldn't impact you in terms of getting the financing, but it does impact you in terms of from a compliance standpoint. And the reason that I'm saying that is that Bessemer hadn't been on time the last years or so. This is not the first year that it hadn't been done on time. It's just habitually been late every year. And so didn't cause a problem with you getting into financing then. And it shouldn't cause you any problem getting refinanced now. But I would like to just see Bessemer, because it's such a marvelous city and has marvelous things in place. Bessemer's never had a finance director. Bessemer has a finance director now. Big finance department, a big pretty building, and a lot of smart people work here. So if you got all that in place, so everybody have the tools that they need now to do better. And so we just can't not continue to not get better when we got everything that we need to get better, is what I'm saying. There's been a huge investment in, I think the mayor a couple of years ago asked about a whole new accounting program. I mean, so I want to see all that be put to good use. I want to see all this stuff that's in place, all these department heads that are in place, all these new titles, all this new stuff that we got. Okay, let's show the results from it, because I don't want to get confused with having shiny new object, but got the same old results. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, Madam Chair, let me ask one more question, and I'll be out of the way.
Yes, sir.
And want to thank Ms. Pryor for all of her hard work too, and bringing our finance department around and moving in the right direction. My final question is, if you were to give some assessment of how we stand financially, and if, you know, Moody's and S&P looked at us now, would you have any idea of what kind of bond rating or what kind of rating we would come out with?
Your rating is probably not going to change from what it already is. What's been happening in the bond market and with all these rating agencies like Standard & Poor's and Moody's is that they've actually started to downgrade a lot of municipal bonds because of the COVID activities dealing with government. This didn't happen in Bessemer, but a lot of cities, Birmingham got a $60 million shortfall in its general fund. And so a lot of cities just didn't profit, was not successful as Bessemer was in terms of getting in its sales tax revenue and other tax, occupational tax and other taxes that they got in as Bessemer was. Most cities saw a decline in revenue. Bessemer didn't. So I would say, even though they've been downgrading, and I've been in a lot of those meetings with different cities about the reason why they downgrade, is that they just weren't sure about this COVID thing, how it's going to impact, what federal assistance that cities were going to get from the government to help them with their shortfall. The state of Alabama has a shortfall, and Bessemer, in Bessemer's case, Bessemer should be well, because Bessemer didn't show a shortfall. They had over 600,000, where we're dealing with 2019. So they're probably going to want to look at 2020 pretty quick, because that's going to tell you more about what happened currently. Now, I can't tell you what your 2020 numbers are going to look like. And that could change everything, because we didn't have this COVID in 2019, which is what this report is sort of about, when these numbers here were put out in September 2019. Okay. So that's going to be an unknown situation at the moment, but they do look historically 4 or 5 years, 10 years, sometimes, but most of the time they go back about 3 to 5 years. So right now, you look very favorable in terms of getting refinanced at a good low rate.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Pitts, and thank you, Ms. Pryor, for all of your hard work.
Councilors, are there any more questions and or concerns?
Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
Just want to say the report sounds great. Even the negatives are easily overcome. I'm sure Ms. Pryor can handle it. She's done a great job for the city, her position since she's come on board, and we're proud to have her. And we really appreciate the timely audit. We know that was December 31st was stretching it a little bit, but
it was stretching it.
You did well. So
I accepted the challenge. I told I would, I'd do my best.
Well, I do look forward to seeing the fiscal year 2020, because that's going to tell us a lot. I think we weathered the storm pretty well, but that will tell us the story. You know, as far as budgets for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been saying we need to save up, start
Well,
squirreling
you were
back
so
those
right
nuts.
on that. You were
Because we
so
didn't
right.
know what was coming, and look what came. Wow. Yeah, I think we did a good job. The mayor's done a good job with budget, and Ms. Pryor's done a great job in the finance department and all of her employees. That sounds like a great report.
Yes, it is. It is.
I like this one, and I'm looking forward to even better in the one at the end of June.
Absolutely. And I also like to thank Mayor Gully for his assistance. Sometimes I would be up here working at night, and he would peep in there, make sure I'm alive. And I would be wondering what he doing up here working at night, putting in long hours. I thought he was the mayor. You know, he kissing babies at somewhere doing something. I didn't know he grinding as well. So he's a grinder. He made sure that I was comfortable with where I was at, and that everybody got me everything that I needed to get it done. And he's also thoroughly aware with the audit report in great detail as well. And so I really appreciate that. And he has given everybody, like I say, given everybody everything that they need to do the job right. So what I like to see now is that we just get better with it, that we get faster with it, and that becomes the norm, and get rid of the old norm that June is when we should be issuing our September audit report. That's just that's just too irrelevant at that point, because now you're more closer to the next year end than you are to the year end that you just ended. So now you're doing what I call glorified accounting. You did beat the bare minimum, but we don't want to be minimalist around here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That's all, Madam President.
Thank you.
President.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Mayor Gully.
Oh, Councilman Collier.
I'm sorry, Councilor. Yeah.
Just like to say a great job, like the other councilman said. Great job, Mr. Pitts. Congratulations to you and your staff. Thank you, Ms. Pryor, and thank you for the hard work that the mayor and his staff does. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A lot has been said, and I was sitting here holding my breath, Mr. Pitts, when you were speaking about Emma.
Okay.
And the city of Bessemer is favorable now in its bond market. We do have some negatives, but they are not our downfalls right now. And we do need to come into the 21st century with our software.
Yes.
Because handwriting and thinking about this, that, and the other, no, that shouldn't be as great of a city as the city of Bessemer is. And everywhere I go and every time I say the city of Bessemer, I say the great city of Bessemer, and that we are. We thank you, Mr. Pitts. I would pass by some nights and 9:30, maybe a little bit to 10, you are still there. I thank you so much.
Yeah, I was trying to get your December 31st. I'm the kind of individual that if you challenge me, I might just try to do it.
Well, I would see your car parked out and lights up and on upstairs. I thank you for being so diligent with the city of Bessemer. I thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you again.
We're looking forward to this 2020 audit. We know that there's going to be some changes. So just get ready for the changes in the 2020 audit, counselors.
Okay.
But the 2019 audit looks and sounds good. Now, let me ask you this question. There are some counselors that did not make it. Counselor Matthews is at work. Counselor Crusoe had her second shot, and she's not feeling very well. Counselor Alexander is at work. But for those counselors, after they listen to this YouTube, are you available to answer questions for them?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes, sir. I will relay that message back to them. Mayor Gully, is it something that you need to say?
Thank you.
Ms. Pryor?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much for your patience, and we'll just continue to work hard.
Thank you all for all that you do for the great city of Bessemer. I need a motion, a second, and I need a roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
just one question before we do that.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
we need to, at some point, we need to vote on accepting this audit at some point, right?
Yes, sir. It will be on the first meeting in April.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. I need a motion, second, and a roll call, please.
Move to adjourn.
I need a second.
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 It has been properly moved and second that we will adjourn this meeting for the audit committee here in the city of Bessemer. Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Collier,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Aye.
Counselor Thigpen,
Aye.
Counselor Donald.
Aye.
4 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you all and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.